Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're diving into a book with a pretty bold, maybe even an old school idea. It's called Pascal, An Introduction for Beginners by Patrick Fenimore. Now, in a world that's just screaming about Python and AI, this book asks us to hit the brakes, slow down, and start somewhere completely different. We're going to break down its philosophy and help you decide if this is the coding guide you've been looking for.
If you've ever glanced at the world of programming and just felt completely lost, you are so not alone. It's this huge sea of languages and frameworks, and it is so easy to feel totally overwhelmed. But the book we're looking at today argues that the secret isn't to try and learn everything all at once, but to find the right place to start.
So, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll start with the why, the big problem this book is trying to solve. Then, we'll meet its unlikely hero, the Pascal language. After that, we'll see how it teaches you the basics, what kind of tools it helps you build, and finally, we'll deliver our verdict on the whole thing. All right, let's jump right in.
Okay, first up, let's set the stage. See, this book isn't just another how-to guide. It kicks things off by tackling a core problem that honestly trips up so many people when they first try to learn how to code.
The author makes a really brilliant point here. Jumping straight into a massive, modern language is like trying to learn engineering by sitting in a spaceship's cockpit. I mean, you're so busy just trying to figure out what all the glowing buttons and screens do that you never actually learn the basic principles of thrust and gravity. The book's whole idea is that all this modern complexity actually hides the simple, beautiful logic that's at the very heart of programming.
So, what's the book's solution to all this complexity? Well, it introduces a mentor for your journey. And that mentor? It's the Pascal language itself.
And this right here, this is the book's central metaphor. It's not handing you the keys to some crazy spaceship. Nope, it's handing you the keys to a simple, reliable car. The argument is that it's way better to first master the fundamentals, steering, braking, the rules of the road, before you try to fly. It's a philosophy that's all about building a rock-solid foundation in programming logic, not getting distracted by all the flashy new features.
And this is a really key part of the book's whole argument. It kind of reframes Pascal not just as a language, but as a teacher. Its strict rules actually force you to be disciplined, to declare what you're doing and organize your thoughts right from the very start. The author argues this builds the muscle memory for writing clean, structured code, and that's something that's going to serve you well no matter what language you end up learning next.
And this little bit of history is actually pretty important because it explains why Pascal is designed the way it is. It was created by Nicholas Wirth specifically for teaching structured programming. Then its big break came in the 80s with Turbo Pascal. I mean, this thing was so fast and affordable, it basically opened up the world of programming for a whole generation on their first home computers. This legacy of being an accessible educational tool is really core to what this book is all about.
Okay, so we've met our mentor. Now, let's see how this mentor actually, teaches. This next section is all about how the book guides you through those crucial first steps. The book uses this really clever comparison. A Pascal program is like a well-organized recipe. First, you've got the program header. That's just the name of your dish, right? Second, the declaration block. Think of this as your mise en place, where you have to lay out all your ingredients and tools before you even start cooking. And third, you have the execution block, the actual step-by-step instructions. Pascal literally forces you to think this way. And this just illustrates so perfectly why all that strictness is actually a good thing for a beginner. The compiler is like that meticulous sous chef, always looking over your shoulder and catching your mistakes right away. You forget a semicolon? Tap tap on the shoulder. Try to mix incompatible data types, it's going to give you a look. This immediate feedback is invaluable because it teaches you to be precise before you can develop any bad habits. So the big point here isn't just knowing that loops exist. It's about understanding which one to use and when. The book does a fantastic job breaking this down. A for loop, that's your tool when you know the exact number of times you need to repeat something. A while loop is the cautious one. It checks the condition before it ever even runs once. And then the repeat loop, that's the do it at least once loop, since it checks the condition at the end. This really shows how the book teaches you to think about the logic of your problem, not just memorize commands.
All right, so once you've got those basics down, the book starts helping you build out your toolkit with some more powerful, but still super fundamental programming concepts.
First thing in the toolkit is the array. This is your go-to for organizing a whole bunch of related data. The book explains it perfectly. Instead of creating 365 separate variables for the daily temperature, which would be a mess, you just create one temperatures array with 365 slots. So simple, right? It just keeps your code clean and manageable.
Next up, the procedure.
And this is all about a huge principle in coding. Don't repeat yourself. If you need to print a fancy header in like 10 different spots in your program, you don't write that code 10 times. No way. You write one print header procedure and just call it whenever you need it. It's a massive step towards writing good, efficient code.
Okay, so a function is kind of like a specialized procedure. It does a job, but here's the key difference. It gives you an answer back. A procedure might print the area of a circle for you to see, but a function will calculate that area and hand the number back to you so you can use it for something else. It's a tool for getting answers.
And last in our toolkit, the record. Now this is the tool for modeling actual, real-world things. Think about it. A student isn't just a number or a name. They're a whole package. An ID number, a name as a string, and a GPA as a real number. A record lets you bundle all that different data together into one neat, logical package that actually represents something from the real world.
All right, so after all that, after going through the book's entire philosophy and how it teaches, what's the final call? Is this really the right mentor to kick off your coding journey?
You know, the book's strengths are incredibly clear. It excels at teaching you how to think in a structured way, not just how to type code. That strict syntax, it really does force you to build good habits right from the start. And maybe the most important part? All these concepts, variables, loops, data structures, they're universal. You're not just learning Pascal, you're learning the grammar of programming that you can take with you absolutely anywhere.
And honestly, that is the book's greatest success. It completely reframes the conversation. The point isn't, will I get a job writing Pascal tomorrow? That's not it. The point is that Pascal, when taught like this, is an amazing educational tool. It's that disciplined mentor that builds you a rock-solid foundation for whatever you want to tackle next.
Which, of course, brings us all the way back to that central metaphor. In a tech world that's obsessed with the newest, shiniest spaceships, is it smarter to first take the time to learn how to drive a simple, sturdy car? This book makes a really, really compelling case that mastering those fundamentals first makes you a better pilot, no matter what kind of cockpit you end up in. But of course, in the end, that decision is up to you.